Welcome to our midweek informational and devotional for Our Savior Lutheran, Platte, Smithville, online. Wonderful day outside. I hope your lives are picking up. We're still in this new normal. I don't like those terms, so I'm going to say temporary adjustment, whatever you'd like to say, but the Lord's blessings upon your day. The theme for Sunday that Pastor Radcliffe is going to have goes along of singing a song for the vineyard, but the vineyard is what we're part of. He is the main branch, and we are the vines, and we produce fruit, good works as we live our lives. A couple of announcements that I want to point out is if you go on Facebook, we have a new public page and you want to share things on that. It goes out. You have so many more friends than I do or any individual person in our congregation does. So share that so they get the taste of it. This Sunday is LWML Sunday. That's Lutheran Women's Missionary League. And they do a lot of missions focused around mites, the mites that were given when Jesus said, look at that lady and how she gives her mites all that she had. So we're going to remember that and do the pledge on Sunday. They're also trying to organize and move forward. So if you would check out when the ladies' next meeting is coming up in October and plan to attend. So with that said, we have the Flapjacks thing coming up on the 17th. Now, Chris Cakes likes to take his flapjacks and flip them up, down, and get round and on your plate, and has a good time. And then the KC Improv it's an enjoying thing, and so we've got it set up to where we have two different groups going through at different times, so we can keep the physical distancing up and meet all the guidelines. So it's up to you, but I think you might have a good time. Think about going. And as you share that so that other people can see it, keep in mind that for our congregation members, we're trying to put together a directory, a pictorial. We're doing it online. So don't assume that your old picture was good enough. Besides that, it's an old picture. If you would take and a picture in your camera and send it in, or one that the family's put together, and send it so we can put it together and have a pictorial for our congregation. As I've been reading and paying attention and different things, I noticed a poster for a political march the other day, a protest, and it said, "Religion makes you slaves," and it just hit me wrong. I guess it is for those who don't understand what religion is. I guess it is for those who see it as a whole bunch of rules and laws. And often the church has done that. They've used the Ten Commandments and then all of the different rules in order to keep the Ten Commandments, and they've made it in such a way as that it's oppressive. The church is not about oppression. The church is about God's mercy, His forgiveness, and His grace, because Jesus died upon the cross. And so I thought I'd take just a little spin. We talked about the law a few weeks ago, and I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to just look at the individual commandments. And so I'm just going to look at the first one this morning. Now, if you remember where the commandments are given in Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5, God says, since I have delivered you from slavery. Yeah, it was slavery in Egypt, but it still applies to slavery to sin as well. Since I have delivered you, you will have no other gods. You will not misuse my name, etc. And so we keep that in mind as we look at the commandments, that we live under His grace. Are they commandments that condemn us? Yes, they are. However, as we live under His grace, they're also guides. So when Jesus was asked in Matthew 22, "Teacher, which is the great commandment of the law?" And Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and prophets." So everything was written depends upon those two. And I like to add that third thing in there. Did you hear that? It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to be proud of who you are. You know you're going to make mistakes, and the law is going to drive you to be guilty, even if it's little. Remember that Jesus died for you. Now, as you take those commandments and we look at them, the first one is have no other gods before Him. Well, what does that mean? Well, I was talking to a couple a few weeks ago And they were like, everything's going wrong in my life. I've lost my job. I can't pay my bills. The car broke down. And it's like, and my wife and I used to say, yeah, it's just as we get our nose out from underneath the water, something would happen when we go back under. But it's also a time when we looked at our lives and we looked at our church attendance, and it wasn't very good. We looked at our Bible study. We looked at our devotion. We looked at our prayers. We looked at our stewardship. And we found all of those lacking. And when we found all of those lacking, we went back to the first commandment and we thought, God is not first in our lives. And that's not a slavery thing. That's we love him for what he has done for us thing. Jesus died upon the cross. And so when people come to me like that, I just say, well, mothers and fathers discipline their children, and God does the same thing. Look at your life. Is God first in your life? Not in an oppressive way, but in a I love you because he loves me way. And look, where is your church attendance? Where is those things? We're supposed to move to maturity, and we're supposed to make disciples. And I like to quote Martin Luther, where he says, the last thing on a person to be converted is their purse. Well, 1600s, okay, so your wallet. God asks our whole bodies as a living sacrifice, not in order to be saved, but because we are. So I pray life is good wherever you are. And if it's not, focus upon the Lord, for he is the one who throws open the storehouses of heaven to bless us and keep us. For in him we find peace, regardless of what is going on within the world. God bless you all.